Hello, this is Lyrelion, and welcome once again to All the Mods 9 here at Hack the Planet. Today I'm going to give a brief overview on source relays and how to use the different types of relays to move source between different targets. So I've got just kind of some simple setups here. I've got my trusty Dominion wand. This is the most important tool you will have in Ars automation, because this is what lets you link everything together and set everything where you want it to go. So I do have a creative source jar here to start with. Normally, if you're not playing in creative or on a mod pack like All the Mods 9, you would use a source, one of the source generating things. So whether it be a mycelial source link or volcanic, alchemical, doesn't really matter, but you need something that's generating source. So in this case, I just have a infinite supply of source. With the Dominion wand, generally what you're going to want to do is link from a target to a target. There are some very specific exceptions, but that as a general rule is how it works. So we're going to link this source jar to this depositor. And what the depositor does is the depositor starts filling anything nearby. It's got a fairly short range, but it's going to deposit to the nearest possible source jar, and it's just going to move from one to the next based on distance. Once it's finished depositing everything that it can, it will sit idle until it's able to deposit again. So this is actually a very good way to set up like a source battery of sorts. You just have one of these near your source link and have it fill a collection of jars to kind of create a buffer, so that later if you use a lot of source all at once, then you'll be able to draw from that and the depositor will just refill it. So it's in electrical terms, it's kind of like a capacitor. So see, now the depositor has completely filled everything, so it has stopped drawing source from that creative source jar. The counterpart to the depositor is the collector. It's going to do exactly the opposite. Once you set it to send somewhere, it's going to pull from any nearby source jars. So in this case, let's go ahead and send to this jar here. So it's going to pull again from the nearest, and notice that the depositor is refilling as we speak. So then you've got your other types of source links. Source relays. We're going to link this jar to just a standard source relay. So a standard source relay can pull from one location and send to one location. Unlike the depositor, which can auto-deposit, or the collector, which can auto-collect, the source relay does have to be set to a take and a send location for it to do anything. And like I said, it can only send to one location. So what we're going to do, we've linked that jar to here, so it's taking from there. We're going to click here, and we're going to send to this splitter. So the splitter is similar to the source relay. They both have a 30 block range. And what you're going to do with a splitter is you can program a splitter to send to multiple locations, not just to one. So I'm going to have it send to each of these jars. And unlike the collector, it will send to multiple at once. It can also send at longer range because it's having to be programmed to specific locations, not just searching the area around. So that's sitting there. The last thing we're going to take a look at is the warper. So the warper is very similar to the standard source relay. The difference being a warper can send over any distance. It is not limited to short distances like the source relay and the splitter are. This is not demonstrative of the distance available, but you can see how the source, instead of traveling, warps directly to its target. You do get a loss of source over distance. The further you send it, the more you lose, but it does cap out at about 30%. So even if you're sending it thousands and thousands of blocks away, you're only going to lose 30%. This is a good way to set up outposts that aren't part of your main base without having to set up an entirely new source generation there if you're not going to be using a ton of source at that location. And that is the basics of the source relays. Thank you for watching, and be sure to like and subscribe.